Right, as one door temporarily closes, another opens wide. Fantasy Premier League is on a sabbatical for Team TSZ, but Team TSZ have gone overseas uh, from a fantasy point of view, and we are taking part in World Cup Fantasy for the first time ever. We're making our World Cup Fantasy debut, and yeah, we're gonna. It's pretty much the same as Fantasy Premier League. We've got to figure out a team before this call runs out. We're on Zoom, so you never know how long it'll take before we run out of time. But
There
this
is
is
a
the
time
challenge.
limit.
There is a time limit, but this is the challenge. Tristan will be joining us from match day 2 onwards. He as clearly doesn't want any responsibility if this goes to pot in match day 1. So he's taken absence this week. But Adam is here along with
Hello.
myself, and we are going to figure this out. So we're winging it a little bit, but we know the players that are on the game. We will pick and we will try and make a squad. We've got 100 million, I believe it is, and we will try and figure this out and get this rolling. So let's do it. Let's start, Adam. I'll set the tone and just say, are there any players, doesn't matter what position, that you see as indispensable and that we have to pick?
I do. I think there's lots of pitfalls here, especially because we can change a lot from match day 1 to match day 2.
Yeah.
So I would personally, in my own team, I've missed out on Brazil entirely for match day 1. So
Okay.
I would like to see how they play before I bring anybody in. Same with
Okay. That's
France for me. I don't know what France are going to be like. So
France, of course, the champions, but you know what it's like with France. They're normally all in or all out, aren't they? They're either
yeah,
brilliant or they're
there's that,
terrible.
and also
And
in
yeah,
recent World Cups, the champions have tended to do very badly in the next
spot
World
on.
Cup.
Yeah, and that's the big stat, of course. France, they won France 98, and then 4 years later in Korea, Japan, they were bombed out of the group in last
Yeah,
place. They were beaten, of course, is it Senegal? I think it was, I remember.
that's
Papa
famously, yeah.
Bouba Diop, God rest his soul, Papa Bouba Diop scored
Spain
and they
bombed
did that
out,
brilliant celebration. Yeah, Spain.
bombed out in
Um,
2014. Who won 20? Germany did not do that great in 2018.
Germany went out in the groups in
Yeah,
2018, didn't
so
they?
same again,
So
same as Spain. Yeah, yeah,
it's nerve wracking. I get that. I'm with you on that. Are there any players though, like that you think you want in the team that wouldn't be a debate? They have to go in. They're going to be great. They've got to be in the team. Like for me, Messi is one.
yeah. I think I'm surprised he's 10.5 to be honest, because
I am too.
as you can see, 60% of the game think that he should be in. I
Yeah,
think is that South Korea to begin with?
that's South Korea
I
fixture
think
one.
that's a fairly tasty opening fixture, isn't it? And it'd be good to have someone, yeah, start off with Messi in our front line. I think, yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? Because those two Brazilians there could both be brilliant, but we just
Yeah.
don't know who's going to play where. It might be Richarlison who ends up being. If I was going to pick one of the three, I'd go Richarlison for a bit of a risk, but I think just leave it completely alone for
I'm
me
guessing
anyway.
Richarlison, yeah, he's a bit cheaper, isn't he? At
Yeah,
7.5 million Richarlison, and then you got Vinicius' name. Okay, let's move on. Like I say, we're going to get time, so we want to try and get as many players as we in, and then we
yeah,
can switch around. Another one that I would say I would want, especially for game week 1, is Harry Kane.
yeah,
He's
me too.
11 million. He's more expensive, but they have Iran at home.
Yeah,
This is the game really. The England, they've got to win it, but they've got to win it well to get that goal difference up. And I think to be honest, I do think they will. I think they will win that quite
yeah,
comfortably, inspired by at least a couple of goals. And I'm happy for Harry Kane to go in at
I'm
11 mil as the big premium.
I'm happy for Harry Kane to be our only England player in the team. I'm not saying I don't want anyone else, but I think if you're going to pick one, you pick him and sort of
It's
just
funny.
set and
It's funny
forget.
you say that because there's one other England player I'd advocate for, and I'd want in the team as
Okay.
an important one, and that would be Trippier. 5 million. I think
Yeah.
I'm 95% certain he will play. England are not rich full of fullbacks.
This is the
Chilwell's
thing.
out, James is out, Walker is injured. Southgate doesn't trust Trent. I think Trippier's absolutely nailed, and he takes free kicks, can take
Yeah.
set pieces. I think has to be in personally.
If I knew 100% he was going to play, he'd be in my team as well. So I'm happy for you to say that and say actually let's go for that in Team TSZ.
I want to put my foot down on that. I do think
No, fair
he's a
enough.
must.
If I
Um,
knew, he's the kind of person I'd probably bring in match day 2 if he starts. But
yeah.
I
I just
just
look at it because Iran as well. It's the easiest fixture on paper. I can't
well,
see
this is
Iran
why.
scoring against
Well, this is why
England.
I think if you were going to play Trent, you might as well start him and see how he does.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, I
I
just
just
think as well
don't know.
with fantasy managers as well, it's worth mentioning for fantasy managers who have checked the rules, etc. It's 5 points for a clean sheet, not 4. So we have to look at players who we think are going to keep clean sheets, and whether they do well attacking is another matter. Which
Well,
leads
on
me
that
to
note,
another
right,
player that we
yeah, you
should
go.
consider. I'm gonna mention out Denzel Dumfries is 6 million.
Lovely.
I just want to talk about Dutch defenders. Van Dijk is
Yeah,
another one. I don't know what
I've
you think, but I
that's
think they
exactly
would
what I was
be
going to
very good
say.
defenders.
I would like to
Okay.
bring in both Dumfries and Van Dijk, as I have done on my own team.
Okay. Okay. You know
I
what?
think
I won't complain about that.
I think double Netherlands defense seems pretty. I mean, there's an argument for triple, but I won't. But I mean, there's some speculation online that this might be the weakest World Cup group there's ever been, especially now that
Yes.
Mane is not playing for Senegal.
That's a big one, isn't it? Mane not playing for Senegal. They do have the easiest group on paper. And it's also worth mentioning with Netherlands, Louis van Gaal is a very defensive manager.
Yeah.
When they were in, I think it was 2014 World Cup, when they finished third, they were very good defensively. They were a lot of their games up to pens, but I'm pretty sure there was like lots of 0-0s in there. I know they kept a lot of clean sheets, and I think they will this time. Defense is their strong point. Van Gaal knows that if you want to win a World Cup, you need a good defense. Your defense needs to be your strongest suit. And with
there's goals in Dumfries and Van Dijk as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Attack and returns.
We
don't know who they're going to play in goal either.
No. So yeah, that's already a very tasty-looking defense, I'd say.
I like that. And now we can go really cheaper for the rest of the defense. We've got our premiums, and that brings me to
I would
the
like
well-known
to
Croatian left back or right back. He's a full back that is 3.5 million that is doing the rounds on the within the World Cup fantasy community. Borna Souza.
Almost 10% selected. I like it. Morocco, Canada, Belgium. I mean, not even Belgium scored that many goals in World Cup, so I don't mind this at all.
Borna Souza is a good. He's just so cheap, and he's a starter. 3.5 and a starter, and I believe he has a decent attacking record this season in club football. So
I did not know that. I currently have Guardiola in my team, but I'll be swapping him
out.
It's
not a bad shout, to be fair.
He's a bit cheaper. He's a bit more expensive, but only 0.5. Yeah,
just have a look at Souza. He is cheap. 3.5 is incredible for a start.
I tell you who I thought you were going to say, one of your favourites from the Euro 2020, and that's Mahler in Denmark, who is very cheap considering how well he played.
Here he is. 4.5 Tunisia at home, which on paper you would say is one of their. Tunisia are a decent team.
Yeah.
Certainly capable of scoring, but he's a good option, isn't he? 4.5. And Denmark are a good defensive team, aren't they?
Yeah.
And if you put him in, that is 5 defenders for us. So, and cheap, as you say. But yeah, good shout on him. Very good shout on him. You touched on Belgium, and I want to talk just very quickly about them. I'm worried about them simply because they can't defend, so I wouldn't touch any of their defenders under Roberto Martinez. I know as a Wigan fan, his teams have never been able to defend. I'm worried about, they have a tough group. Morocco have some really good players like Hakimi and Mazraoui and Ziyech and Saiss, etc. Canada, weak on paper, they have a couple of good players like Davis, but weak on paper. And the other one is Croatia, and Croatia historically do well in big tournaments, especially like the World Cup. They reached the final last season. And I think were they in Argentina's group last 4 years ago? I think they might have been. And they beat them. I'm not 100%. I really should do my research on that. But I'm sure they're in Argentina's group. I'm worried about Belgium this tournament. And apart from potentially De Bruyne, I wouldn't consider anyone from them. But De Bruyne is 11 million, and that is expensive.
This is the thing. I have De Bruyne on my team right now, but it's not final, and he is the premium I would consider splitting into 2 lesser players. Well, sort of 8 million players. But for I think there's a lot of parallels between this current Belgium team and the previous England team, a sort of golden generation. This is sort of their last chance as this group to do well at a World Cup. And I know they've gone far in the previous 2 international tournaments, but they've flattered to deceive.
I think you have to. They've done it based on their attack, haven't they? They've done it based on their quality attack. But I think it's important. Lukaku is not fully fit, and he is crucial to that team because he is excellent for them. He's their big battering ram up front. He's excellent. He gets the best out of like Hazard and De Bruyne. He's not fully fit. They are not going to keep many clean sheets, which means they have to be good going forward. Otherwise, they've got no chance. And I'm just worried with Lukaku not fully fit. There's so much pressure on De Bruyne. I think if you've got him, it's worth having him because he's the only one I look at that team. Hazard's fitness is always a gamble. He's 8 million, which is very enticing. But his fitness is such a risk.
If they can get him working, he's an absolute steal at 8 million.
Yeah.
Someone else who is slightly probably injury hampered and probably won't play the first game, but is incredibly cheap considering what he could do is Son.
Yeah. Well, I think he will play. I think he's too important for South Korea, isn't he? Not to play. I'm gonna check if he's in the game. I'm not even sure he is in the game so
I've
far.
I've seen him around.
You've seen him around, right? Let's find the country.
Maybe he's a forward. Might be a forward.
Korea Republic. We've got Hwang.
You've only got midfielders there.
So I have. Yeah. Well, there we go. That explains it, doesn't it? There we go.
There is, 8.5.
8.5. He's got Uruguay at home, which is funny because I was going to mention Darwin and your thoughts on Darwin at 8 million.
I didn't even see Darwin when I went through that. Is he in the game yet?
I'm gonna check for certain, but at 8 million, it's not a. I'm sure he's there at 8 million. Yeah, there he is. Darwin Núñez, 8 million.
I'll be honest with you, I completely forgot about Darwin.
He's not a bad shout, is he?
It's not a bad shout. I almost went to Suarez, I just forgot that Darwin played.
7.5. Luis Suarez is good for a booking. But it's a difficult one because they've got 3 top strikers, Suarez, Cavani, and Darwin. The consensus is that it will be Darwin and Suarez. That's the consensus.
I could see that working really well. I could see that. A poacher and a sort of, I don't know what Darwin is. It's sort of just a mad animal. But
I'm going to, very quickly, let's go, just because we're a bit undecided for that, I'm going to go quickly and say, let's fill our keepers out. Very quickly, get the keepers sorted. I think we need to get Martinez. I think Argentina will be good defensively. They're very strong defensively under their manager. They were very strong defensively in the Copa America, which they won in 2021. I think Martinez is a good safe goalkeeper.
Is this Martinez's first international tournament as well?
Not his first World Cup, I think, but it's not his first. He was a key part of their Copa America win. He was save penalties in their shootouts, etc.
Yeah, he's got the right temperament to do well in his debut, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I think he's definitely one that should.
No, I like that. Also, there's not many goals in Argentina's group either.
Yeah. I'm going to very quickly just put a 3.5 million keeper in just for money reasons. Martinez will be my starter all the way through, but I'm just going to give the price schedules. I'm going to put him in there. How much we've got? We've got 44.5 million. I'm aware against the clock, I don't want us to run out of time. 44.5 million. Let's fill out these midfielders. We've got to fill these midfield. We've got room for one more striker. I'll put Son in for now.
I know. Well, there's too many strikers, isn't there? There's too many strikers.
Well, we've got three options, aren't there? 3 strikers. We can only pick 3 strikers.
We need one more.
Midfielders. Yeah. So who would we have for up front? Let me check if Bale's a striker for starters. He is. Bale is 8 million. That's expensive for a team that might not get out the group. They've got a big first game against USA. If they win that game, they'll get out of Wales. That's kind of like it's one of those. I would bring him in against Iran.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure about USA.
It'd be good to see how Wales play. I mean, just for sake of time, seeing as we mentioned, why don't you bring in Darwin for now? Because I've completely forgot he existed, and I may be changing that in my own team now.
Darwin Núñez is in.
That is a lovely front 3.
Right, we have got 5 defenders, 3 strikers. I'm assuming we have to now pick 5 midfielders.
5 midfielders, interesting.
So we've split around. We can focus on midfielders. We've got Fernandes is there. He scored twice.
I have one I'd like to really put forward.
Go on.
Musiala, please. Germany. Jamal
Musiala. Are we sure he'll start? Do we think he will start?
I've heard. I think he's basically their best player right now.
Okay. If you like him, I like him. I do think Germany, they've got a tough game week 2, but a good game week 1 against Japan. Japan are a decent team. I'm not going to write off Japan. Japan have got some good players. But Germany you would imagine, should do well under Hansi Flick. Hansi Flick is in charge now. He's a former Champions League winner. He was assistant when they won the World Cup in 2014 under Lowe. So he's big things expected, I think, of Germany this year. I would say another one for me. I know we have Messi, and that represents a gamble being a double up, but I do like Di Maria. I think he's relatively secure in the Argentina team. He scored the winning goal in the Copa America final.
Those 2 fixtures are friendly. Nice. Yeah.
And I think that they're all three of them are good fixtures on paper for Argentina. And I do think I like him at 8.5, decent price. If we did that, that would leave us with 3 defenders and 20 million in the bank, which would probably give us enough to get 3 decent players. It would mean not having De Bruyne, which is a risk.
I don't mind that, you know.
It's not. I think he'll do okay, but it's a matter of what we think about Belgium. I know a lot of people are saying Netherlands have lots of cheap premium midfielders. Xherdan Shaqiri is a player that I think,
it's a lot of fun.
someone who always he's a talisman for Switzerland. They've got Cameroon first game. Now they do have Brazil game week 2 and Serbia 3, which is risky.
That's a tough group, isn't it?
It is a very tough group. It is, and let's quickly mention Serbia. Serbia have got they've got Vlahovic and Mitrovic up top.
And Jovic as well.
They've got Jovic, they've got Milinkovic Savic.
Yeah.
They've got good players on their own back, haven't they?
How much is Milinkovic Savic in midfield? It could be interesting.
Vlahovic is 8.5. Mitrovic is 7. That's very cheap. I'm not sure about Mitrovic's injury status, though. Of course, he missed Fulham's last couple of Premier League games. Milinkovic Savic is 7 million.
Yeah, I mean, it could work. It depends. Who are they playing first?
They are playing Brazil first.
All right.
Speaking of Brazil, obviously this is World Cup Fantasy, so ball recoveries or tackles equal points. So that leads me to Casemiro, who has always been a safe UCL fantasy option. He's 6 million, which is relatively cheap. Tough first game, but someone to consider. He's not great for a goal, but in terms of other.
Well, I mean, he scored 1 and almost scored 2 recently, isn't he? For United, I'm not sure he's utilised in the same way for Brazil, but I mean, it'll be him and then just 4 attackers in front of him, won't it? Basically.
Yeah, pretty much. England's attackers, we don't really know who's going to play. Only one who I'd say is certain to play, just because Southgate loves him, is Sterling, and I think they've priced him as a striker. I think Sterling is a forward. Yeah, he is, which makes him far less enticing. If I knew Saka was going to start, I would be all in on him, but I don't think he is. So
yeah. Other players who have sort of a reasonable price. There's an argument to be made for Christian Eriksen.
Yeah, I can go with that. 8 million. Christian Eriksen, Tunisia at home, first game. That's a very good price.
Quite a nice opening game, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll put him in for now. We can take him out, of course. I don't like having no Brazil at all.
This is the
That's
thing.
what I would say. I don't like having no Brazil at all. And it is a tough first game, but Brazil are.
I just don't know who's going to play and where and for how long, with Brazil.
Yeah. I have a similar issue with Netherlands, really, and who is going to play. And of course, they've got lots of forwards. Like Cody Akpo is a forward. Yeah, personally, I think he should be a midfielder. If he was up to me, Cody Akpo would be a midfielder, and I would advocate for him. But as a forward, not so much. I like our premium forwards. Modric will be popular, 8.5. Brozovic at 6 million, I think, is a decent option. I think that's a very decent option for his price. Yeah. Again, we've mentioned his decent first game. Morocco, a good team. Actually, that's a tough game, but
I think it's not bad for attacking options. Isn't it? In terms of Serbia, he could be one. He could be one to come back to, definitely.
Okay.
Also, only 0.8% owning. That's. I thought it'd be more than that.
That's true. That is true. You look at those differentials, could be important. Portugal have loads of options, but no one really stands out as going to be. I think Bernardo Silva is popular, 9.7 million. I difficult in terms of you don't know how they're going to play, who they're going to play. Yeah. Like Fernandes and Ronaldo historically don't play well together. Like if I knew that Ronaldo was not going to play for Portugal, I would advocate for Fernandes. He's got a decent group as well, really.
If I knew that Ronaldo wasn't going to play, I'd bring in Rafael Leao. That's
another good shout. Unfortunately, though, as well, he's a forward.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. At 8 million. I'm going to take a plunge. I think more forward options, other options are better, simply among forwards.
Yeah.
Trying to think if there are any. I feel like we might be missing out players. Kamada, Minamino at Japan. Just looking at players' options. We've not taken notice of any African players either. Which is if Mane, of course, was fit, he would be in, which is a shame.
Well, I expect to, once I know who's playing in teams like Ghana and Cameroon and Senegal, I think if I can find some decent defenders in amongst them, I'd probably be bringing them in, sort of like 4 million defenders and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and there
Well,
should be some bargains in there. There should be.
oh, there's too many players right now to even consider. Like it's an absolute smorgasbord.
Brian Ruiz of Costa Rica. It's a shame Tim Cahill isn't around anymore for Australia.
Yeah,
They do have Aaron Moy,
still do a
but
job.
they've got a horribly tough group, and France first up as well. It's not
Yeah,
easy.
their starting goalkeeper is £4 million though, which is interesting.
That I assume is Matt Ryan.
No, it's Redmayne, apparently.
Is he a definite starter? Is he?
Well, that's what I've heard.
Fair enough. He has France first, which is a gamble in itself. I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's just stick to this for now. Hang on. I think we'll go back to the keepers. So I think we're going to have enough money too. We need 2 more midfielders. We've got a 12 million budget, which leaves us little room to maneuver really.
My differential in my team is Dan James, who's 6 million.
Okay.
I think
Daniel James, Aaron Ramsey 7.5, which isn't bad in itself. USA first up, Iran second.
I love Ramsey. I would love to have Ramsey in my team, but I just can't trust him to play the whole 90 minutes right now.
Dan James is a regular starter for Wales, isn't he?
Yeah, scored literally 2 days ago, 3 days ago, whatever it was.
I'll put him in for now and see how much that leaves us 6 million. Then we'd have to find a midfielder for 6 million. Right.
Or we get a cheap. We haven't got a cheap midfielder really.
Well, we can always take someone out. We can always take someone like Nunes out and go someone like Mitrovic.
I think we should get a second goalkeeper, at least a starting one.
Okay, let's get a starting second goalkeeper then, and then that leaves us. We're nearly there basically.
Could we afford a Dutch? Could we go 3 at the back for the Dutch? Is that possible?
I would be against it. I think Netherlands are going to keep clean sheets.
Yeah, me too.
Justin Byler, I think the most likely to start, if I had to pick who I think is most likely to start, it would be Justin Byler.
I've not heard. Who are these people?
Right, Justin Byler is.
Where's Tim Krul?
I know, right?
I thought they're going to be Tim Krul forever.
How things have changed. I know. It is Van Gaal's biggest decision, really.
Oh dear.
Byler is finaled. Noppert. Oh my goodness,
I've heard of Noppert. I've literally never heard of the other ones before in my life.
Remco Pasveer is Ajax, and he's experienced, very experienced. There was of course a big storm in the Netherlands because Sillerson threw a hissy fit when he wasn't selected, apparently. It's a very, very difficult one because we don't know who it's going to be. If I had to guess, I'd probably guess at Byler. I know he's having a good season, but that is a tough one.
It's a tough one to
very,
guess.
Very tough one. Yeah. Tough to pick someone we know is going to play.
I just from memories of previous World Cups, I quite like South Korea's goalkeeper. I can't remember which one is the starting one. I think it's Kim Song-gyu.
I think it is too.
If he's the guy from the Russia World Cup, he's a lot of fun.
Can he keep a clean sheet though? That's what I'm sure he's loads of fun, but can he keep a clean sheet?
I'll have to Google this. I can't just guess this.
Okay, you can do that, and I'm going to keep going through and have a look at what we can see. Hugo Lloris is 6 million. It's hard to find a keeper. Like I say, Martinez has to be my number one. Keylor Navas is 5. I want someone 4.5 or less, though, personally. I don't want to spend a lot of money on a keeper. Redmayne could be the guy. I still think Matt Ryan is very likely to play.
No, it's not. It's not Kim.
It's not Kim.
It's Joe. I don't know who's their starting keeper anymore. Is Joe Hyung-woo there?
I will check. Joe Hyung-woo is there. 4 million.
No, he's a lot of fun. Do you remember him?
It's him.
I remember him. He frustrated Germany to no end for about 120 minutes, whatever it was.
Oh, it's a difficult one. That's a tough one. That is a tough one.
Originally chosen as a third choice keeper, he ended up in the starting lineup due to the fact that he was taller than the other 2 keepers. And then his performances in the first 2 matches against Sweden and Mexico were impressive. I mean, despite ending in defeats, maybe not. I just remember him being this random guy who just did brilliantly. The same as an Iceland's keeper who turned up from work and then was just incredible.
Well, there's always a shock. I'll always remember, I think in Brazil, Guillermo Ochoa.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant for Mexico. I remember that well. Unfortunately, he's 5 million. He's up against Lewandowski game week 1, which would be interesting.
I would go for Jan Sommer if he didn't have such a horrible group.
He does have a tough group, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Jan Sommer. He's 5 million as down for, which is expensive. I personally would gamble and go for a Netherlands 4.5 if you want to keep it, but
I
I
mean,
can't
if
guarantee
you get it
they'll play.
right, it's a great differential.
It's brilliant, isn't it? 3 Netherlands defenders. I'm happy with it though. I really do think they're going to keep clean sheets. So,
Or I mean, who is Qatar's starting keeper?
Qatar's starting keeper
Do we know
is
that?
Al Sheeb. Al Sheeb is definitely the starting keeper. What are
Um,
you thinking? You want to go for him? He's
well,
definitely the starter. I'm
that,
certain it's Al Sheeb.
let's have a look because that group has not got goals in it apart from
They've got
Netherlands.
Ecuador, Senegal first two.
I wouldn't mind that because that is 0.5 cheaper as well.
Hey, look, we've passed. We've got the 10. We've had the 10-minute warning. I'm putting him in.
Yeah, I think
That
that's quite
leaves us
good.
with £5.5 million for a midfielder. Now we can downgrade people. Let's not
Yeah,
forget that. I want to keep our defense as it is. I will say that. I want to
it's a
keep our
nice looking
defense as
defense.
it is.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that defense. I think if we're going to downgrade, we downgrade maybe Nunes or we downgrade Di Maria or Musiala or Ericsson.
This is annoying, isn't it? Because if we knew Richarlison was going to get 60 minutes, I would have Richarlison over
Yeah,
Nunes, and then we'd have an extra 1 million. But we just don't
yeah.
know. We just don't know. So I'm just ignoring Brazil until match day 2 in my own team.
I think Musiala will start. I'm happy
Yeah,
for Musiala. I do think he will start, and I think he'll have a good tournament. I'm happy to
yeah.
keep him. I like Di Maria. I don't like the double up with Argentina as a risk. I like Di Maria. Dan James is not bad. We're looking now. I'm looking at and Dan James. Maybe Casemiro. I don't think we can afford him now. I think Casemiro's 6. Yeah, he is, which is a shame. That would mean we would have to downgrade somewhere.
Because ball
But
recoveries, you're right, but
we have to take this into account. We have to
yeah.
take ball recoveries and things into. We don't have someone like that,
Well,
and maybe
we could always go get Casemiro and then downgrade Dan James. I know, or Ericsson. I mean, Ericsson might work. He might not. I don't know. It's difficult, isn't it?
it is. It's a hard call. Ecuador, obviously, Qatar is their first game. They've got Caicedo at 5.5,
Good for
and
ball
Caicedo
recoveries.
is
It's
very good for Brighton. He's
yeah.
been excellent for Brighton.
He's
He's
not a
got
bad show.
Qatar, Netherlands, Senegal.
I wouldn't mind that. He's good at ball recoveries. He's quite quick down his side.
He's an excellent player, isn't he? I
Yeah,
think
he
he's been
is.
brilliant in the Premier League. He's got to play. He's got to play. Ecuador have a decent young team on paper. They've got a couple of oldies like Enna Valencia, but they've got a good team on paper.
Tell you what.
Angel Mina is potent. There is rumours Angel Mina could start as part of the front three.
Okay.
But
Oh,
the front
really?
three
That's
is only
interesting.
5 million, but that's a gamble. That's not nailed on. Ditto Ibarra, he could start as part of the front three as well, but he's not nailed on.
Okay.
So options there. What are we thinking? What are we thinking? Are we going with no Brazil? Are we getting someone like a Caicedo in and going no Brazil?
Well,
Big gamble.
I can see myself bringing in Brazilians basically for match day 2, which is I just don't know who's playing and where and for how long.
Yeah. Well, we've got. It's a shame. Kostic is 6 million. If he was
Yeah.
500,000 cheaper, I'd push for him. Jurisic is there. I'm not too sure if he's going to play. Poland, of course. Oh, Poland are a difficult one. Poland. I don't really know if they're gonna. I don't know enough about them really to gamble with any of them. There will be teams that
How about
surprise.
Portugal?
Who? Sorry.
Portugal at
Oh,
5.5.
Portugal. Portugal, unfortunately,
Ah,
Neves is they've twigged that Neves is expensive. No, they've got no one less. Let me go back to who's Morocco. Morocco, Croatia first. Ziyech, Boufal, Amir Sarori. You know your championship football, Adam, like me. Late
right.
call, of course,
I
due
was
to an
looking for
injury.
him. Burnley guy, isn't he? He's doing
He
well.
is. I don't, for what it's worth, I don't think he'll play. I don't think he'll
Oh,
start. So
okay.
he's too much of a. He's too Elias. They've got Elias Chair as well at 4 million. He's
Yeah,
an attacking midfielder.
he was in my
But
team for a while. He's a steal at 4 million if he plays.
yeah, it's just frustrating. I don't think these will play. That's why we've got to look at players who are going to start. We can substitute. We can see
I tell you
that.
what, Alex, why don't we put Caicedo in, and then we'll
Okay.
sort out what our starting 11 is, and then we can
Okay. We
decide.
have a team. We have a
Yeah,
team.
so there's a
Messi's
team.
captain. Let's confirm this. Let's
Yeah,
confirm this team.
and then we can
Confirmed.
decide who's playing, and then we can see whether we need to upgrade or downgrade, or just leave it as it is, see who
This is
plays.
where we do that here. So we're
Mm.
going to do that here. So
Yeah.
who do we think we want to start? We want Caicedo. You do make substitutes, I believe.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you make substitutes during the game, so you can bring non-substitutes, which means Caicedo has to start.
Okay.
So we'll sub him in. And Darwin Núñez, who I believe is late on, pretty sure Darwin Núñez is late on in terms of fixtures. This is where I frantically get my. This is what you can do, Adam. You can quickly get the fixtures up. Quickly get those fixtures up for me. Al Sheeb will start as well for Qatar, as we go for a Qatar clean sheet first up.
It would be
Di
quite
Maria and Messi and Netherlands and England both play on the second day, so we'll keep Dumfries, Trippier, and Van Dijk in, and James will have to come in as well because he also plays on the second day. So we'll take out Musiala.
Yeah, Uruguay play on the Thursday.
Okay, when did Denmark and Germany play, and Croatia?
Tell you who plays on the Friday, the Netherlands. So we could take both Dumfries and Van Dijk out.
No, that's their second game. Their first game is Monday or it's either Monday or Tuesday. Okay. I'm not sure which. I think it's Tuesday.
Germany is on Wednesday, and Croatia is on Wednesday. So we could take out Souza and
When did Denmark play?
I think Denmark are Tuesday. They are, yeah.
Okay, and Germany, very quickly, did you say Wednesday for Germany?
Yeah, Germany Wednesday as well.
Right, so we've got Martinez who plays on Monday, either Monday or Tuesday, but we've got Al Sheeb.
Martinez plays Tuesday.
Okay, so we'll make a substitute, assuming Al Sheeb doesn't keep a clean sheet on Sunday. We've got Trippier who plays on Monday, Dumfries who plays on Monday, Van Dijk Monday, Mahaley is Tuesday, is he? Netherlands are Tuesday? Oh, sorry, Denmark are Tuesday?
Denmark are Tuesday, yeah.
Okay. Caicedo is Sunday. Di Maria is Tuesday, I think. Either Tuesday or Monday
Tuesday.
For Argentina. Okay. James is Monday. Kane is Monday. So this is our team. That means Kane is going to be captain on Monday.
Nice.
And then we can switch to Messi if needs be. Or we can do what I was advocating for earlier before the call and unlock the power captain
Here
chip.
we go. Right.
The power captain chip, for those wondering, it says here, your highest scoring player of the game week becomes captain, and he earns two times the points.
Oh,
you can also
use
12-man, which is add an extra player to your starting 11 to earn more points. And I think it's an unlimited player. So we could, for example, our 12th man could be De Bruyne or Mbappe.
Right, okay.
Or we can't wildcard. Of those two, I'm going to say now, as we run close to the end of the call, we got 2.5 minutes. I'd advocate the power captain because I think there are a lot of options. There is Messi. We've got Messi, we've got Kane, we've got Di Maria, we've got Dumfries could go berserk, Núñez could go berserk, Ericsson could bag a brace. You never know.
It makes sense to go early because if it's someone in your team, if someone this week scores loads, everyone's going to bring them in. So if we do
I was doing my research, and I should add quickly, the last 2 World Cups, I think it was, there were some big hauls on the Matchday 1. Matchday 1, there are a lot of big hauls. And I think there is a chance that there will be a big haul here among Matchday 1. I think if there's going to be one, it's going to be early on while teams are still getting to the tournament. Matchday 3, people will know what to do and there'll be a bit more tension.
A fresh Argentina with no pressure are getting their easiest game of their 3, I think, is the first one.
That's just it. Saudi Arabia and England have got Iran, and Denmark have got Tunisia. And Holland have got Senegal, who are weakened through losing.
And Kane could. I'm not saying he will because I don't want to jinx anything, but Kane could get a hat trick against Iran.
He could. I'm advocating for it, and I want to do it. We've got 90 seconds, and I want to play this chip.
I'm fully up for you doing this.
We're confirming our booster. That's
Lovely.
it. We've got it. We're confirmed. This is our team. This is Team TSZ for Matchday 1 of the FIFA 2022 World Cup. Al Sheeb for Qatar. We've doubled up on Dutch defence. Dumfries and Van Dijk. Trippier's in. Mahaley, the Euro 2020 star, is in.
Who you've never pronounced the same way once in your life.
I've never pronounced the same once. He's in. Myler, I think it is. Sorry. Ericsson is in. Caicedo is our budget enabler. Central midfielder for Ecuador, did brilliantly for Brighton in the Prem. Di Maria, Messi, double up Argentina attack. Dan James for Wales. Harry Kane. And then we've got Emi Martinez, Souza, 3.5 fullback for Croatia, Musiala, and Darwin Núñez. That's our team. Adam, hope you're happy with that. You happy with that?
I am very happy with that, actually. I genuinely think Caicedo's going to work, you know.
Well, only one way to find out. Thanks for your time, Adam. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and best of luck with your teams. And
Best of
enjoy
luck
the
to
World
everybody.
Cup, everyone. And we'll be back for match day 2.